and welcome back to another Era Quinn Caledron Monster Mash. This is battle one of round one of the elimination matches. Last video we explained how we're going to set up all these elimination matches. There is a whole complicated process we went through, so refer back to that video if you want to know the whole story there. This match, the first one in the elimination rounds, we've got Beorn against the Spider Queen. They're going to be throwing some custom dice. We're going to show you the profiles in the books. Just quick, we're using Beorn only in bear form because man form really is just not a monster, so he's not in the tournament. And we had lots of fun putting these models together. This is all just Games Workshop models, no proxies, minor conversions. Spider Queen's legs, I cut her legs apart because I didn't like the way they were all stuck together. And we recast another one of these spider broodlings to put on her base because she's just a mess and gross and should have broodlings with her. So here's the broodlings. We like to make these extra travelable. We put them on washers because then they stick nicely inside a metal case that has magnets in it that are really cheap. In our neck of the woods, we can buy really big sheets of magnet for like $1 at the dollar store. And that makes it really easy to travel with these guys. We put washers on the bottoms of most of our models, and they stick real good in the cases. And the same thing with all these guys. Sometimes it's a little creative, but it works. A little bit of cork underneath Beorn, a little bit of tree from the backyard with some woodland scenics grass tufting on there, and we've got a whole bunch of just flocks and random bits of stuff from Woodland Scenics, mostly a little bit from Army Painter on here. And we're playing on a great big mat from GameMat.eu. We love this mat. It's a wasteland mat. Terrain in the back, graciously provided by GameMat.eu. And we're thrilled with this stuff. We've got some fancy dice here from Chessex. This is a Vortex Green pattern die from Chessex, which we put some custom saplings on there because Beorn's a woodland creature and loves the woods and protects the woods. So he's rolling woodland dice. And we got some nasty looking spiders. This is also a Chessex die pattern. We made it custom from Chessex. This one is called Lustrous Gold, I believe. No, Lustrous Black. But it's got kind of a gold hue to it, and it's got some really nice color patterning to it. So we got 3 dice for the Spider Queen when she charges, 3 more for the broodlings, assuming she gets a chance to actually throw some broodlings into this game. Let's take a look at their profiles quick and see what these two are going to be able to do to each other once we get this matchup started. Estinus, you ready?
Yep. First off,
Beorn.
the big bear himself. So this is his man profile. We're going to actually mostly be referring to the second page over here for his bear profile.
This is from the Armies of the Hobbit book from
Exactly.
Games Workshop.
8-inch movement, fight 8, strength 8, defense 8. That should give him a significant advantage on the Spider Queen. 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 6, but fearless, so he won't be worrying about terror at all. Might Will Fate stay the same as man form, so he's got 3 of each. Resistant to magic, which won't matter. He is burly, which again won't matter. Terror, everything in this monster mash has terror. Woodland creature.
Yeah, which doesn't matter when you're playing in the desert, but that's okay.
And then he's got 2 rules. We're going to be ignoring Skin Changer, because yet again he will always be in bear form. Berserk. He must always charge if he is able to do so. And that's really the only part of this rule that actually matters. He'll probably be charging anyway, but
people confuse this one when they play it in gameplay too. It does not mean he has to charge the closest model. It just means he must charge. So if he's got a few if he's got a few opponents within range, which is 8 inches, he's got a decent range. He can choose whatever he's going to charge. He just has to charge. So for this game, that doesn't really make a whole lot of difference anyway, unless I guess the Queen could drop a broodling and try to run more than 8 inches away. But why she would do that would be kind of interesting. So, but yes, he must charge. It doesn't tell you who he must charge. Crushing Strength will be an interesting one, though.
this has actually let him do very, very well in our round-robin matches. If you refer back to our round-robin videos, Crushing Strength, basically, Strength 10 hit rather than striking normally against his opponent. And if he successfully wounds, he can keep rolling that Strength 10 hit infinitely until he either fails to wound or until the model dies. So this essentially allows him to just auto-kill anyone he wins the fight against, which is kind of terrifying.
So in our round robins with random drawn matchups, he in one turn choked a dragon to death. He in one turn bear hugged Treebeard to death. He's done some damage with this move. So that's Beorn. Crushing Strength will be important. Actually, you know what? Crushing Strength it may not matter in this one because he's got 3 attacks. And the Spider Queen will look at her stat next if you want to flip to her page, Estinus. She only has a couple of wounds, and she has no fate. So Beorn is not going to necessarily want to do more than 3 strikes to her, so he might just take the 3 strength 8 strikes and be trying to wound her on 3s instead of using a strength 10 strike, a single strength 10 strike, also wounding her on 3s. So here's, yeah, I mean, we'll get into that when we play the matchup. But here's the Spider Queen style line. Estimus, go ahead.
10-inch move because she is a spider. She has swift movement, which lets her go over all terrain and whatnot. She can like climb up buildings, run over archways. It's kind of freaky. Fight 6, lower than Beorn. Strength 6, so she will be wounding him on 5s. Defense 4, which means she's
very vulnerable.
Very, very vulnerable.
She tends to be a bit of a glass hammer. She can cause a lot of damage, but she takes damage fairly quickly as well.
2 attacks, but she does have monstrous charge. So whenever she is on the charge, she will receive the extra attack and match Beorn's 3 attacks. She will not knock him prone because he's
greater strength,
way stronger than her. 3 wounds at defense 4, so Beorn's just probably going to one-turn her if he manages to win a fight. Courage 4, which is not going to help, considering that she has to take terror test to charge Beorn. 3 might, 3 will, and no fate. She can use her will points for her progency special rule to progeny to spawn spider broodlings, which are awful at everything, but they are extra models and they do allow her to trap.
Which is interesting. She may well get double strikes against Beorn, which is interesting again because of these large venomous fangs. You want to explain that?
She does have the venom special rule, which means that she can reroll all failed rolls to wound, which is scary. So she will need 5s, but if she does get the trap on the charge, she will have 6 dice wounding on 5s, which could very well take out Beorn.
And she has 3 might. So this is one of those matches where the whole thing could end in 1 round.
And they both actually can heroic strike, so that will be interesting in the sense that it will likely come down to a roll-off on the first turn to decide the game.
Yep, it just might. So, anything else we want to say about her profile before we dive in and roll some dice here?
She does have heroic defense, which she might use if she does not get the charge, but that is really the only situation I think that she will be using heroic defense.
Yep. And now heroic defense, as a quick reminder for those who don't know, if she calls a heroic defense successfully, what it means is Beorn, who would be wounding her on 3s, will not. He'd have to roll natural 6s for every strike to be able to actually wound her, and it's natural 6s. You can't might it to a 6 either. So, we'll see how this goes, but I think we're ready to roll some dice, right?
Absolutely.
We're going to start these two, 12 inches apart from each other, same as we have done before.
Yep.
We've got some might, will, fate counters set up over here that we're going to be using to track their might, will, and fate as we go.
There we go. Is that on camera?
See if the tripod can do its job. Just. Yep, perfect.
All right. Here we go.
Priority.
Off camera roll.
1. Beorn does not have priority.
Well, the queen is going to be super brave and just stay right there.
Because that's what the queen does. Beorn can't do anything super interesting except set himself up for the next turn. So he's got an 8-inch move. We don't really care if he moves his full move or not.
12 inches apart, he'll be within charge range. Anyway.
Yeah, he's really not going to care. We'll move him up a little bit anyway. Just in case she drops some broodlings.
And for the purposes of this monster mash, they won't be allowed to run away. So like the 12-inch bubble, they can't leave the bubble.
Yep.
Like they have to stay there.
All right, new priority.
That's the queen.
Queen takes priority again.
Do you want to call in heroics or no?
He's got 3 might to burn. He doesn't care. He just wants to kill her. No, she can move first.
Okay. So she will indeed take a terror test. Courage 4. She
just passes.
Barely what she needed. She's going to come in, and then she, right before she charges, is going to spend 1 of her 3 will.
His progeny has to drop within 3 inches of where she starts?
Yep, so it's going to drop there. And then it will take a terror test to charge Beorn. No.
Fails.
Courage 2.
So it stops right where it is.
Yep. She will spend another will point to spawn another broodling within 3 inches. And it is actually not going to charge. Instead, it is just going to run around back.
You try to trap him?
Yep. And then the third broodling, she's going to spawn. Again, within 3.
She has now used all of her will.
And then it is going to attempt to charge. Oh.
And it fails as well. So none of the broodlings are in the fight, but they have trapped Beorn. She finishes her move and charges Beorn. Now we're in combat.
And I will be calling a heroic strike.
And Beorn will counter. So they both spend a point of might on their heroic strikes. Beorn's starting at fight 8, the queen's starting at fight 6.
Yes.
We roll up.
Ooh, off Beorn.
Bjorn's fight 10.
Spider Queen's fight 10.
So they tie at fight 10. Here we go, big dice.
I do have my 3 attacks because of the charge. Oh, did that
die,
have to be
reroll that.
cocked? Oh,
None. So Beorn is at a 5. The queen is at a 4. Are you going to do any might on that? She'd have to burn her last 2 might to make that a 6.
I'll spend 1 might to make it a 5 for now.
To tie it. Beorn will spend a might to make this a 6.
The debate. If he wins the fight, he needs 3s. He could very well end her in 1 turn. You know? I'm going to do it.
She's going to spend her last might. The queen is out of might. Beorn has 1 might left. Roll off to see who wins the fight. 6. It goes to the queen. So she has lots of strikes. Let's see what damage she can try to do. She's going to back off at the end of this either way.
She does get
because
to
he's
trap him. So she will get 6 dice. She does need 5s to wound, and there's nothing she can really do about it. She could rend, but then she wouldn't get her trapped dice. So she's just going to strike
Natural
6, defense
strikes,
8.
Needing 5s. There's 1, 2 wounds.
Oh, if only I had
Nothing
might
else.
left. I'm going to reroll because of venom.
Because she gets to reroll. So here she goes. 3 wounds. So Beorn has 3 fate. So we're just going to roll all 3 fate. Passes 2 of those fate. He's going to take a wound and burn up his fate. So he's got 2 wounds left. And Beorn is fine. He survives this round. But she chewed up some damage into him.
Which, that's probably not going to be enough now. She really needed to do a lot more damage.
Yep. So now, priority. Beorn does not go first. The queen is going to go first this time. But this time, Beorn is not afraid. He outfights her, and there's nothing she can do. So, let's see her courage test. She passes handily. Rolls a 7. She's in.
All the broodlings, starting with the guy in the back.
Try.
No.
Failed. So that one failed.
That guy.
These are courage 2 or 3?
Courage 2. And then this fella is not in.
So we've got 1 broodling in the combat. Ready to roll some dice? You get 4 dice.
I have no might left, so it doesn't really matter what dice are distinguished or anything. I just have 4 dice, and you have higher fight value.
Beorn starts with a 4 high. Has to burn his last might to make a 5 and take the win. So Beorn is out of might. Makes the 5, takes the win. There's 3 strikes on the queen, needing 3s.
Yep. Ah!
5, 5, 6. Spider Queen is dead. Squished.
But the fight is not over. The broodlings. The broodlings.
So Beorn wins. He's going to charge. Can he hit 2?
Just
he can't hit 2. So he'll charge the far broodling just for the sake of the. You know what? He's going to come around on the outside and get untrapped and charge that broodling. They only have a 6-inch move, so they're not going to be able to trap him no matter what now. You got courage checks to run. This one?
Yep. Oh,
fails.
Still no.
This one?
Yeah,
passes.
broodling.
We got 2 broodlings in the fight.
Technically, no.
Yeah, I could probably get out about here. We won't bother to measure it. 3 dice from Beorn, 2 dice from broodlings.
Ooh!
Got a 5 high.
No.
So Beorn wins. Here's 3, needing 3s. 1 dead. And my goodness, that's a bad roll. He spent his good roll on the queen last round. Alright, priority.
1.
2. Beorn's going to charge that broodling. You know what? We'll just make it easy on the camera. He'll charge that broodling.
And then this fellow's going to try to charge. And...
fails, just fails. Alright.
Not quite. 1 die!
Beorn wins. There's 3 strikes to squish a broodling.
Very, very dead.
Just squishes a broodling. Priority again.
No.
You definitely win.
Terror!
Oh,
this broodling is terrified.
Beorn is not afraid. So here's Beorn's 3 dice to 1 spider die.
Come on, broodling! Gets a 5.
Beorn rolls a 4. He actually loses
the broodling
fight.
does win.
Spiky little teeth on that
Needing
silly little broodling. Needing
6s
a 6
by 4s, because strength 3. Come on!
There's a 5. Little spider is not going to do it. Priority.
2.
Beorn gets it. And charges. 3 dice to 1.
Blowing on the dice. Nope.
Beorn wins on a 3. Wow. That's a really rough roll. Alright, let's see.
And it's very dead.
That's a very dead broodling. Beorn is victorious. But the spiders held him on for a little while. Those little broodlings have some teeth.
Beorn was down to 2 wounds, but he did successfully win the first round of the elimination tournament.
There we go. And the Spider Queen finally had a good fight. She has rolled some lousy dice the last couple of matches that we played with her, but she managed to actually get her trap and get to re-roll some wounds. She caused some damage. Beorn's not easy to wound, and she did it. So there we go. Thanks for watching Monster Mash. We will be back soon with the next elimination round, and we'll tell you who it is, and we'll go through their profiles and everything that time. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Mike O'Vannon, and we'll talk to you soon.